Hello everybody and welcome to this week's DBT skill. Today's skill is another distress tolerance skill, and it's a skill that I'm hoping will be especially useful at the moment for whatever is going on in your personal lives, especially for those times where things are extremely difficult. So you'll probably have recognised myself from the DBT groups, or you may have seen our other channels on our DBT channel. Please do like and subscribe to our channel, where most weeks we'll be uploading a new skill that could be really useful. So we're just going to go through the PowerPoint I've created today on distress tolerance, which is to go through improve the moment. Now you'll see that in DBT there are lots of acronyms, and this is another acronym, and improve stands for a set of different skills that can hopefully get you through the present moment, making it easier to survive this crisis without making things worse. So it's trying to replace immediate negative events with more positive ones by making the more positive, more current moment more positive and more easier to tolerate. This is something for you to practice when you're feeling overwhelmed, when things are really difficult, and it might be something that's going to last for quite a while. Or perhaps you've been using our other DBT skills or other techniques or other coping strategies, and by distracting yourself or using the self-soothing skills, none of these have been working for you. So this might be something that you want to really consider at that moment. But it's good to be aware of these skills even when you're not in crisis, so that you are more prepared and can cope ahead. You don't have to do all of the letters I'm going to go through. Remember the supermarket shopping metaphor. So when you go to a supermarket, there'll be some things on the shelf that are for you and things that aren't for you, and that's okay. So go through the letters. You might find that all of them are going to be really useful and you might want to use all of them. That's absolutely fine. But be open-minded and be willing to give things a try. So let's go through them and tick off any of these on your worksheets about what you want to try. And the idea is that once you know about all these skills, it's to start practicing them twice between the group sessions or your one-to-one session. But really we want you to be using them every single day. So the first letter, I, stands for imagery. So there are lots of things you can do using the power of your imagination. You can imagine very relaxing scenes, a place that you've been to before, or somewhere that you want to imagine. So for some people, they say that's the beach, or it's the woods, or it's a grassy field, being near a waterfall. It can be wherever you think would bring you a sense of calm to get you through the moment. The other thing you can do is you can imagine a secret room within yourself. You can furnish that room in any way you want, but you can lock the door on it so that nobody can hurt you, nothing can get into that room, and this is the place where you can feel completely safe. With the power of our imagination, we can imagine awful things, but we can also imagine wonderful things. Try and imagine that everything has gone okay, or that it's going to have a good outcome. By imagining this is something that sports psychologists do quite a lot for athletes. Try and imagine yourself winning or beating the situation, or there being a good outcome, and it can be really useful. For some people, they say that making up a calming fantasy world is actually really useful. So this can be absolutely anything. You might want to think about video games or movies that you've watched, and actually to have a place where you can just escape to and have a break in your mind is really effective. Sometimes, this is a bit like mindfulness, but it's imagery really. It's where you imagine hurtful emotions inside of you are leaving your body. So you might just actually visually want to imagine what that would look like when they leave your body. Only to leave your body feeling a lot more peaceful and calm at the end of it, or perhaps a positive emotion going around. Sometimes it can also be really good to imagine a place or time where you're very happy. It could be somewhere in the future, or it could be a memory of your past. So remembering a time, and just go over and over it again in your mind, and you'll find that by just using imagery, your body will respond to that. The emotions will respond, they'll quickly follow. And physiologically, you'll probably start to notice a good change in your body as well. The next skill is to think about finding meaning. So whenever there's been something really difficult going on, there's always meaning to be found. If we think about the coronavirus and the pandemic for a really good example, some people will come out of that pandemic having reported that actually there have been a lot more connections with people that have both in ages, or they've learned a new skill. or they've got a routine now that actually keeps them quite well, or they've been forced to have to really try and get a better quality night's sleep, and they found ways that work. So there was a meaning, so at least it happened for a reason, either on a small scale or on a bigger scale for them. Try and find whatever positive aspects of a painful situation you can find. There will always be something that can be positive and something that can make you feel, actually, I guess I didn't want to go through this, it's been really, really difficult, but actually I have survived, and if I can survive that, I can survive anything. Repeat these positive things in your mind, try and say them to yourself, and try and sort of say, actually, do you know what, this is really difficult, but there are positive things that will come out of this too. Remember, listen to or read about spiritual values. So there may be values that you've got that are a lot more about your sense of your place in the world or the earth, or perhaps about spiritual connection to people. It could even be animals, so pets. Pets are always happy to have people at home a lot more with them. So there could be something now about a spiritual value, as in what can I do that will bring me a sense of actually fulfillment, or that thing can be improved. So there's another way of trying to find a meaning. Prayer, a lot of people would dismiss that immediately if they're not religious, and that's fine. But actually, even if you're not religious, you might want to see if you can connect with the wise mind, which we talk a lot about in DBT. If you are religious, you might want to open your heart to a supreme being or a God or someone that you do worship, or it could just be a sense of a higher being. So praying, turning things over to the higher being or to God so that they can sort of guide you and get you through the asking for strength that you can bear any pain that you're experiencing right now can also be very useful. Relaxing actions, so there are so many things you can do. You'll see in the DBT books and the handouts that there are lots of different things we can do to try and find ways to relax. One of those things is to look at the pleasurable activities list. There's 150 things, in fact more than that I think, of things you can do to try and keep busy, to distract yourself and get through the moment. But here today we're talking about relaxation action. So for some people it's about having a hot bath or hot shower. For some people it's hot milk, hot chocolate is always a very popular drink. Massaging the neck and your scalp, that can be really, really useful in terms of trying to relieve some of the muscle tension that's been building up over time. Practicing yoga, you may want to find a YouTube video, a beginner video to do yoga if you've never done yoga before. Or should look for some stretching videos so that you've got someone that can give you some guidance on how to do that. But making sure that we start the day or finding some time of the day to try and stretch and try and breathe and be here in the present moment through yoga or mindful walking or mindful movement or meditation is really useful. Trying to breathe deeply, trying to get yourself through that. You may have heard the square box exercise, that can be really useful. If that's something you haven't done before, do Google it. But basically, you're trying to sort of make sure that you take a deep breath, deep breathing inwards, outwardly, and trying to do that 3 times at several points in the day so that you ground yourself and you connect yourself to the present moment. And just check in on how you're doing. Changing your facial expression. So if you haven't heard the DBT skill, a half mile, do have a look at that one. We will have a video coming up on the YouTube channel soon about that. But changing your facial expression can do something where it sends a message to the rest of your body, and it also sends a message to your brain, and that can really, really be useful in trying to change or to accept or adapt to the emotions that you're having at the moment. Doing one thing at a time. This is so important. So when people are in crisis, their mind will be very busy, whirring away. So try and focus your attention on what you're doing right here, right now. Stay present. Put your mind in the present moment. When your mind drifts off, that's okay. Notice that and bring it back again. Try and focus your attention on the physical sensations of what's going on right now. But don't do that all at once. Try and focus on one part of the body. So it could be your toes, your finger, it could be your shoulder, it could be any tension in your face or anywhere else in your body. But one thing at a time. Just be really curious, a bit like an alien who's never seen these experiences before. How would you describe those? And then at the end of this, I'm going to talk about another skill, which is a video that we have uploaded already to the channel, which is using the 5 senses to try and be more mindfully aware. Vacation is an American term. It basically means a holiday or a break. Give yourself a break. So try and find ways you can do that. For some people, they're often told by mental health professionals or their family, don't spend the rest of the day in your bed. Actually, what we say here is that maybe sometimes it's okay just to say, for an hour or two, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to get my covers. I'm just going to hide away for a little bit. I might nap. I might just want to have a breather from everything. But you're giving your mind a break from everything that's going on. That's okay. Don't do it for the whole afternoon or morning. Certainly don't do it for the whole day. But if every day for the rest of this week you need to have a break, that's okay. But after the break, get up and do something that makes you feel good. Other ways of having a break is to go for a walk in the woods or the park, or you can get to a beach and drive to a beach. That's also great. During the pandemic, that's probably not advisable, but you can certainly go for a walk in the local area for 30 minutes to an hour maybe. We know that by getting the heart rate up for a good 20 minutes, you're releasing a lot of endorphins in the brain, almost as much as an antidepressant. So do try and do some walking, or should get out and try and have a break from your current situation. Get a magazine or a good book, read them with chocolates. Give yourself a break, it's comforting. It's okay to do that. At the moment, you're in a crisis, you need to get through that. Turn your phone off for the day. Sometimes by not having notification, messages, phone calls, having a break from people is okay. It helps us get through the moment. Give it a try and see what that's like for you. Take a blanket to a park and sit on it for the whole afternoon. That can also be really useful as well. Maybe perhaps not during the pandemic, but when it's over, that can be something to try. Take a 1 hour breather from hard work. So if you're working or if you're doing a lot of housework even, make sure that you have a break from that. Try and stop with a cup of tea or a glass of water, or watch a TV program so that you can give your mind a rest from everything else that's been going on. Taking a vacation from responsibility, well, sometimes we have a lot of responsibilities, looking after animals, looking after family, our work, feeling like we've got lots of responsibilities around the house in terms of paying bills or getting food in. Sometimes you need to just give yourself a morning or an afternoon off, or maybe a whole day, not just to do nothing. That's okay. And the last part of the skill is self-encouragement. This is where you're kind of going to be like a cheerleader for yourself. So there's lots of quotes on here of what you can say to yourself. Try and say something that isn't going to make you cringe, that isn't too cheesy, but say whatever it is that makes you go out. You know what, you can do this, you can get through this, you've got work through worse before, you can do this is going to pass. This is going to pass is probably one of my favourite things to say, because actually a lot of people always say, when I have a worry, I'm probably not going to be thinking about this in 6 months' time. But right now, right here, it's really difficult and it goes through my mind quite a lot. Just remember that it's going to pass. It's not going to be like this forever. And the last bit about rethinking the situation. So this is where you think about other ways of thinking. What's another rethought that you could have? For example, he didn't pick me up. It doesn't mean that he doesn't love me. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't care. By saying that and reframing things and going over and over again, that can really help you take a step back and see the bigger picture. So give it a try. I hope some of the things I've talked about today are going to be really useful. And like I said earlier, we do have another YouTube girl that's already uploaded, and that's a video that Anna had created a few weeks ago. And it's mindfulness for the senses. In DBT, what's called is improving the moment of sensory awareness. You might want to watch that in that video, or if you've watched already, watch it again. By going over and over the girls and practicing, that's how we know that DBT will start to really have good positive impact in your life. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe to see our videos as and when they come up. We hope it's useful. Please do make comments on the comment function below and let us know how you got on, and if you have any questions, ask them. If there's anything you need a skill or any more coping strategies that you need from it, let us know and we'll see what we can do. Have a good day.